We on? Yeah, I think so. Alright. In one video, my last video, you might have saw I had a chicken boiling over there on a pot. That's because I promised my grandson I would make a soup, some kind of school feeding, school event thing that I'm not going to. I'm just making some food for it. So they wanted like a soup, so I'm doing chicken noodle. Figured I would give you one of my versions of chicken noodle. When I make this, my family likes it thick and piled up over mashed potatoes. I like to just put it in a bowl. I mean, either way, it's excellent. But I had to already get started. So what I did is I took a whole chicken, wash your chicken. Always wash your freaking chicken before you cook it. And I put it in this pan, filled it with water. Put in, I like this caldo de pollo, although I don't use bouillon. Although mine's not got caldo de pollo in it. It's basically the same thing, but it's a mix that I buy at our local Amish bulk foods place. And I like it a little better than the caldo, although the caldo de pollo's pretty good stuff. I use that instead of bouillon. But when I make my chicken noodles, it comes out really chickeny. Really chickeny. So, I put a couple tablespoons of that in a pot of water. I think that's, I think it's an 8-quart pan. And with the whole chicken, I had the water clear up here. This chicken, I don't know. Chickens ain't like they were back in when I was a kid, you know. Back then they were like 2 pounds for a chicken. Now they're like freaking 8-pound chickens. So this is, I don't know, probably a 6-pound chicken here. But I brought that to a boil, and I boiled that for probably an hour and 15 minutes. You boil it until you see, I don't know if you can see, just boil it until you can see the meat starting to separate from the bones. I mean, because ultimately, you know, when you bring this out to bone it, you just want that meat to fall right off the bones. Not necessarily, you know, you want it, it'll be done, but that's not really what you're looking for. What you're looking for is for that meat just to fall off. And while it's boiling, it's going to get some skin, fat, and just foamy, nasty looking crap coming to the top of the pan. So I just use this little skimmer, and I just skim it off once in a while, getting rid of all the crap, and I just throw it in a measuring cup there. And then when it's done, I pull the chicken out. You can let it sit for just a minute, and then you can still skim some more oil, grease out of it. So with that being said, I'm going to debone this chicken, put the meat right back in there. I got the water still on. It's reheating, coming back up to a boil. And I'll be back with you when that's done. Okay, we're back. Got the chicken deboned. The stock is back boiling. And I call it a stock because, well, it's actually at this point a broth. The difference between a stock and a broth is a stock has no seasoning in it. A broth does, but this has seasoning, so I guess it's a broth already. But I got a massive pile of chicken here out of this. Look at these. Look at these breasts. You know, when I was a kid, that's one chicken. When I was a kid, these would have been like B-size breasts, and now they're like D cups. They're just freaking huge. But what you want to do, you just, you know, you want to make sure all your chicken's cut up into like bite-sized pieces. And I took all the skin out. Nobody wants a mouthful of skin, chicken skin. It's not bad if it's on fried chicken, but it's kind of slimy in your chicken noodles. So just go and make sure you don't have any great big chunks in there of chicken. Can't believe how much chicken came out of one. Good Lord. It's all the freaking growth hormones and everything else they give them. That's why you really should grow your own chicken. That chicken, one side of the breast could have fed 2 people, 3 people. I just love making this. It's so easy. It's not expensive or inexpensive. It's the way it doesn't have to be real expensive. The way I make it is expensive just because that's how I like it. And it's definitely not a health food. This is so bad for you, the way I make it. Got so much fat and starch and whatnot in there. Anyway, now you can see this massive pile of chicken out of one bird, and we are just going to put that into that pot. And let's go ahead and tip her up and dump all that juice and bits and pieces in there. Because that, my friends, is just flavor. That is flavor waiting to happen. And the whole incentive behind cooking is to make something that tastes really, really, really good using layers of flavor. Where is my damn... Don't let your wife rearrange your kitchen. All right. Now, I like to throw in some peas and carrots. You can put them in now, you can put them in later. It doesn't really matter. I use frozen peas and carrots when I cook. 2 reasons. They stand up well in your cooking. And reason number 2, I don't like fresh peas. I like canned peas, but canned peas in something like this will turn to mush. So I use frozen when I'm cooking something like this. I'm gonna add a bunch of pepper. I'm not gonna add any salt at this point. Between the chicken bouillon and the noodles we're gonna throw in here, it's already gonna be so starchy and salty that you don't want to overdo it. Plus this base. Now to make this, a lot of guys will use put like flour in there or like a roux and mix it in there to thicken it up. Now the noodle, or they'll use a cornstarch to thicken it up. The noodles themselves are going to thicken it up quite a bit. So I don't put too much stuff in there, but what I do is I dump a can of this Campbell's cream chicken in there, and that it's condensed, so it acts as a thickener, which, you know, you just increase the cost of the soup by $2. You didn't have to, but I like the way it tastes in it, and it helps to thicken it without putting more flours and starches in it. Give that a good mix until it's all worked in. And then I like it a bit on the creamy side. So we're gonna add, this was about there's probably a pint of cream in there. Heavy whipping cream. So we're gonna give that a nice stir, mix it all up, and when it comes to a boil, I'll be back and we'll put the noodles in. Okay, we're back. You can see we're boiling here now. Got our broth, or soup mix, whatever you want to call it, going. At this point, I like to throw in a stick of butter just to fatten it up some. It gives it a tremendous flavor. Like I said, this ain't health food. Let that butter work in just a minute. This is going to be so out of this world, you won't even believe it. And see that? Can't really tell, but that broth is, you know, it's already thicker than your average soup. Now this is my go-to. Greens home style egg noodles. You can make your own. There's a million different kinds to buy. I just happen to really like these, and they work well. That's boiling, everything's done. We're at the point now, you just put that in. You want to keep those noodles frozen until you put them in, otherwise they turn into a ball of mush. So keep them frozen until you need them. Put them in there, let them break up, start to thaw out. And what you're going to do is bring this back up to boil, and then you're going to let it simmer for 30, 45 minutes or however long, you know, you can reduce the water down to how thick you want it to be, and it'll pretty much be done. I mean, after about 10 minutes, it'll technically be done. Everything is done except the noodles. So, they'll only take about 10 minutes to actually cook. So when that comes to a boil, I'm going to slide over to this other burner because this one doesn't, yeah, it doesn't simmer where the damn, my stove is, it's you got to be used to it, that's for sure. My stove is a work of art. It's got a mind of its own. But I tell you what, this would be some of the best chicken noodles you ever eat in your life. If you eat it at this consistency, it makes it damn good, but you can reduce that down, thicken it up some, and it just goes wonderful over mashed potatoes. But I'll give you a little secret. It's one of those foods that always tastes better the next day. When you let that completely cool off, put it in the fridge overnight, next day get it back out, it's going to be a solid chunk. You just throw some in a pan, heat it back up, and good stuff there. Good stuff. So I'm going to let this come back to a boil, and then I'll be back. Okay? Okay. We're back to a little bit of a boil. It's where I want it to be to simmer anyway. So I am going to slide it over onto here. You want to check it every now and then because it's the flour, starches, sugars, that's the stuff that'll burn to the bottom of your pans. And this is definitely got plenty of flour and sugar, or sugars and starches. So you gotta come back, stir once in a while, because it will burn to the bottom of the pan. And I'm just gonna grab this cup right here. So I'm gonna let this simmer for about a half hour, and it'll be ready to go to the school. I just want you to take a look. That, my friends, is the best chicken noodle soup you'll ever spill on your floor. Have a good one.